options have recently changed. This call may be recorded or monitored for quality assurance and training purposes. Call from you at American Credit Union. This is Agatha. How can I assist you?
Hi, I wanted to pay off my car.
It's done. What do you want to say?
We're debt free.
What do you want to say?
We're debt free.
What do you want to say?
We're debt free!
What do you want to say?
One, two, three, we're debt free.
It's time. We're gonna cut them all off right now. Can you believe it? It's almost done!
I know, it looks so scary.
Can you yank it?
I'm not going to even try.
Well, there's a pin. Hold on, baby. There you go. Hey, you guys! We're debt free, baby!
We're debt free!
All of this bondage, chains of debt, gone. Well, we did it. I woke up this morning, best feeling ever. No more chains attached to me. Now, we do still have a mortgage, but our monthly payments are going to go way down. Yes! No more consumer debt. It's a great feeling to say this is my money that comes in each month, and I can do what I want with it. So a lot of you have said, what's the next step? And we're going to get there. But first, I just want to give you a brief overview of how we got to this place right now. Okay, so a couple years ago, my husband and I bought some cars. We were a normal American family. Now, what's in our favor is that we did not spend too much money on these cars. And so our income and the amount of money that we spent on the cars was actually okay. So we were listening to Dave Ramsey, and he was telling people, go sell your cars. And we were thinking, I don't want to sell my car. Can we afford this? And we looked at the numbers, and yes, we could afford it with our income. So we decided to keep our cars and just tackle the debt. And that's what we did. And we also had some credit card debt. Yes. At the end of the month, we would just use our credit cards if we didn't have enough money to do what we wanted to do with our life. And that was just foolishness. So now we owed credit card companies some money, and we owed on our 2 car loans. And I finally had this sick and tired moment. I actually had this sick and tired moment like a year prior, but we decided to add a room onto our house, and I'm so glad that we did. So we had our sick and tired moment, and then we decided to spend money on extending our home. And so we did that. We did it very frugally. My husband did pretty much almost all the work himself. We did have to hire out like an electrician and somebody that would finish the texture of the walls for us, the texturizing. I'm not quite sure what that's called. And as soon as that was done, we went through the whole inspection process, and then we sat down and decided no more debt. And in March, we just tackled it headstrong, and we did it. So every penny that we had left over after paying bills and having, gas and groceries money, we put towards it. and I'm so thankful that we did. And I love Dave Ramsey's method because he says, put your debt from smallest to largest on a notepad and tackle that smallest debt first, because those victories as you're starting to pay this off, it's like little spurts of weight is being lifted off your shoulders, and it feels so good. Now, yes, you do have that big debt at the end, but it's so much more manageable knowing that all the others are paid off. And so when we paid off the credit card, when we paid off my husband's car, it was like, yes, I'm so excited. And then it was my car. And man, I was so pumped and ready. Now, of course, we did have a few little hiccups along the way. My husband had a back injury, and that cost us quite a bit of medical money, but we were able to cash flow those medical bills, which means that as the bills came in, we just paid them off. And that was a great feeling, knowing that I didn't have to call and say, can I make a payment? No, I just paid it off. And that's so good. And we still have some medical money left over that we had set aside for this. So I'm very, very grateful that we were still able to pay off my car. Now, we expected to pay off my car in August, and we didn't pay it off until October 1st. So there was a little bit more of a delay in our goal, but that's okay. We knew if I kept asking myself, if I were to call Dave Ramsey right now, what would he tell me to do? And every time I asked myself that, I knew he would just say, just keep going. It doesn't matter if it takes you another month. It doesn't matter if it takes you 2 more months. Just keep going. You're almost there. You're almost at the finish line. And I just would pump myself up and watch Dave Ramsey on YouTube and get fired up. And there was no going back. I don't feel like as a family we missed out on anything. We ate all of our meals at home. We had so much fun. I tried so hard to make it a fun experience for the kids. We had our debt-free chain. So every time each month we paid off more debt, the kids and we would cut off those chains, and it was just so exciting to get the kids involved. I highly recommend, if you are wanting to start your own debt-free journey, don't hide it from your kids. Just say, you guys, Mommy and Daddy, we made a mistake. We need to come and just own it and say, we're sorry. We're sorry that we put our family in this spot, but we're going to clean it up. And make a chain with your family. Make a chain, and every chain of ours represented $500. You could do $200 or $100, whatever it is. You could have a really long chain. But we plan to do the chain thing again when we decide, or when it comes to paying off our mortgage. So we're going to continue to follow Dave Ramsey's principles of getting ourselves where we want to be financially. So the next step for us is baby step 3. That's saving up 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So it's not income. So it's not what does my husband or what do we bring home as a family each month and save up that for 6 months. No, it's how much money do we need to survive. And so for our family, we've decided that we're going to save a 6-month emergency fund of $24,000. We need at least $4,000 to live on, to pay bills, to pay our mortgage, for gas and groceries. And so we've decided $24,000 is our number, and that's what we're shooting for. And we have a goal. Now, in the middle of saving up for our emergency fund, my husband's getting ready to start another master's program. It's not going to take very long, and it's not very much money. It's less than $20,000. And so we are going to cash flow his master's degree at the same time. He is applying for scholarships and grants, and we've already heard back that some of those are being accepted and he will get. But we do know that there is going to be some out-of-pocket expense as well. And so our plan is to put some in savings and some towards his education every month. That's the goal. And so we are so excited to continue on our journey to debt freedom and to financial freedom. And you can too. Sit down, get a notepad and paper, write out your debts, smallest to largest. Start tackling them. Now, if you do follow the Dave Ramsey method, baby step 1 is to save up $1,000 for an emergency fund, because Murphy likes to knock on your door as soon as you decide to get out of debt. Something will come up. And for us, it was our furnace. Our furnace was had like a burn spot in it all of a sudden out of nowhere, and we had to have it that portion replaced. And so Murphy will knock on your door. So get $1,000 for an emergency fund so you're not tempted to use your credit card, and then tackle the debt. Many of you watching this video might remember in the beginning of our debt-free journey about a year ago, I said that I wanted to have more than $1,000 in my emergency fund because we have 4 kids. However, we decided in March, when we started tackling our debt headstrong, and I mean we went after it. I was mad. It was my really sick and tired moment. And I decided, you know what? Dave Ramsey's been doing this a lot longer than me. He knows better than I do. And I'm going to trust his $1,000 emergency fund method. And so we took everything else that was above $1,000 in our savings, and we put it towards our debt. And I prayed and I trusted in the Lord that he would get us through on that $1,000, and he did. He did. No problems. It dwindled down one time to $600, and we pumped it back up to $1,000. And yes, it affected how much we could pay towards our debt that month, but you know what? We kept $1,000 in our emergency fund, and it worked. So I highly recommend, even with a big family, trust in God. Just have $1,000 in your emergency fund and tackle the debt. Because now I can tell you, on the other side of baby step 2, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. And lastly, I want to talk about your grocery budget, because this is eating healthy, spending less. I should be talking about this. So really hone in on your grocery budget. Make a lot of rice and beans. I have so many rice and beans recipes on my website because, you guys, rice and beans is good for you. It's full of fiber and protein and carbs. It's exactly what your body needs. And there's so many different variations of rice and beans. I have so many recipes to choose from. So definitely check out my website. Now, if you're saying, my husband, I don't know if I can get him on a debt-free journey, I'll put a link above. Click that. It's how I got my husband on a budget. Because you cannot tackle your debt without a budget. You have to come up with a budget. And I have an article on my website. I'll put a link in the description box below on how to create a cash system budget. It literally takes a notepad, pencil, and a calculator. That's it. You can do this. You can get out of debt. You can experience the same financial freedom, and you don't have to live in bondage with a chain wrapped around your ankle any longer. It's time to be weird like us. It's time to not live the normal American life of debt. Get out of debt. 80% of Americans are in debt. Now, I know that includes mortgages, but I'm going to get out of it because I don't want to be a part of that statistic anymore. Okay, so that's how we did it. That's how we paid off our consumer debt of $26,720 in 8 months. And it's worth it. Do it. Do it now. It's not too late. Make 2020 an amazing year by starting your debt-free journey. Well, okay. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. 3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!